from the campus of Westfield State University. This is 89.5 FM, WSKB, Westfield.
Support for community radio on WSKB is provided by Betts Plumbing and Heating Supply Company, an independent, family-owned wholesaler serving Westfield for over 50 years, specializing in plumbing, heating, and industrial piping supplies. On the web at bettsplumbing.com or at 14 Coleman Avenue in Westfield.
WSKB.
89.5 WSKB.
Time to play the game. Time to play the game. It's all about the game and how you play it. All about control, and if you can take it, all about your debt. And if you can pay it, it's all about pain. And who's gonna make it? I am the game. You don't wanna play me. I am control. No way you can shake me. I am heavy debt. No way you can pay me. I am the pain, and I know you can't take me. Look over your shoulder, ready to run like a Cleveland bitch from a smoking gun. I am the game, and I may lose. So move on out. You can die like a fool. Try to figure out what my move's gonna be. Come on over, sucker. Why don't you ask me? Don't you forget there's a price you can pay. 'Cause I am the game and I want to play. Time to play the game. Time to play the game. It's all about the game and how you play it. It's all about control, and if you can take it, it's all about your debt. And if you can pay it, it's all about the pain. Who's gonna make it? I am the game. You don't wanna play me. I am control. There's no way you can shake me. I am your debt, and you know you can't pay me. I am your pain, and I know you can't take me. Play the game, you're gonna be the same. You're gonna change your name, you're gonna die in flames. Time to play the game. 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 Time to play the game.
Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 at 89.5 FM, WSKB Westfield. Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by Westfield Bank. For more than 160 years, Westfield Bank has been an important community presence and commercial leader in the Pioneer Valley, with convenient full banking services in Westfield, West Springfield, East Longmeadow, Agawam, Feeding Hills, Springfield, Southwick, as well as Enfield and Granby, Connecticut. Visit us on the web at westfieldbank.org. Wow, it's Tuesday.
Yeah. Oh my God. Where the hell is the, am I on the screen at all?
No, where's your video, Bob?
Oh my God.
Where are you, Bob?
Where am I?
I'm showing the extra empty chair next to Rick.
Yes, I am here. I am here by myself. I am feeling lonely in the studio.
Honest to God, do you know what happened? I am so sorry.
Good thing I sent you a text.
I was in the middle of sleeping. Look at
You were in the middle of sleeping.
I'm wearing my pajamas are here.
Bob, we don't need to see your pajamas.
Well, at least he's got pajamas on.
That's true.
Holy, yeah, at least I have pajamas on.
Did you go out and party last night, Bob?
Pardon?
Did you go out and party last night?
No, I didn't. I didn't do anything. I set the alarm. I thought I set the alarm. Do alarms stop and go, he doesn't want to get up?
Yes. They usually time out after 5 minutes, but then they come back usually after 5 or 10. Unless on my phone it does.
This thing didn't. Oh God, help me.
Did you lose power last night? We have some pretty strong winds out there, and
my girlfriend lost power.
I was having trouble. Yeah, no, I was having trouble sleeping. I was in and out at 3:30. There, an animal. Excuse me, I'm gonna shut the door here so James doesn't hear me.
That's fine. Yeah.
An animal was making love with another animal. I think
probably a cat.
No, it wasn't a cat.
Or a couple of college students.
It could have been college students, but if they were, they have the strangest lovemaking sounds. It was a sort of a, it sounded like a door opening and closing, only like 4 or 5 doors all at once, opening and closing.
That could have been the wind blowing stuff open and closed.
No, so I decided to go out there, and then I thought, what if it's a Fisher cat? And God knows, I have no idea I know what a Fisher cat looks like. They're really, and I've never ever seen one really. I've seen it only in books or whatever. And I thought, if it's a Fisher cat in there, and he's tricking me, and this is a luring sign for something that, and then I thought, who would make love in this freezing wind? I mean, there was no way that you could balance or anything, unless there's some new strange technique out there that I don't know about. Want to comment on that?
I got nothing. And I don't think Peter's paying attention to.
Oh no, I'm paying attention. I'm just deciding whether I want to comment or not. My girlfriend lost power, so she just texted me. She got no sleep last night because of the howling winds, and you don't know if the lights are going to come back on or.
Well, Peter, I'm supremely apologetic. I've got my bag over here.
Good thing I sent you a text, huh?
Yeah, I wish you'd call. Next time, call me on the phone and let it ring and ring and ring, because otherwise, honestly, but I look pretty good for just getting out of bed, right?
I was smart enough to get my own coffee. And
You
Rick,
know,
if you need one, there's some down the hall in culinary.
Okay.
this doesn't happen.
I have my first one, so
Okay,
Oh,
there's
I am
more
so
down the hall.
sorry, Ricardo.
It-
Question.
Yep.
Has this ever happened to you? Have you fallen and couldn't get up?
Oh yes.
Overslept?
Overslept? Oh yes, we've all overslept.
Well, all right, wait a minute.
Yeah. They're so on the forum the people are talking that about 7 hours there was a transformer went out somewhere over
I heard about that one.
by the Coles Bridge area. So it could have affected you. It could have turned your alarm off, Bob.
No, it was my phone.
Your phone? Oh, then I don't know. Then that's
an
on
operator
you.
problem. Yeah, that's an
It's
operator issue.
user error. User error.
Oh God.
All right, you guys talk amongst yourselves. I got to fix Rick's shot so we can get him better in the box there because
Oh,
Why?
okay.
I am always a little off-centered, so what's the difference?
Yeah, but you got an empty chair next to you.
I can always slide over, Peter. You know that. Just stay.
You were like
Am-
you're actually right next to twos. TU.
Am I right of center or left of center? That's that's where I need to be. So
It's
I mean I could
twos.
just move, Peter. That's
Yeah, but we don't. You're like in a distance.
well. See,
so
I could have like the
consequently-
halo right over me. See,
Yeah, but
You
but Rick, if they're watching on TV and some are listening on the radio, Rick is about the size of he's like a little tiny figure, and then you've got this big, huge head right here.
excuse me. Oh, I thought you were talking
mean-
about my head. I'm like going, wait a minute.
Yeah, no.
Wait a minute, my head's not that big.
There's only one here. Thank God I got my hair cut. I got my hair cut on Saturday for the first time in like 7 or 8 weeks.
Yeah.
And I was really looking like that mountain
too.
man that Adam Wright once said I looked like, oh my God. Speaking of hair, Peter.
Me too.
what
I needed a
is-
haircut badly.
But it's a buzz cut.
I love my hair short.
Have you always had a buzz cut?
Yeah, for the most part, yeah. I let it grow out in the wintertime usually for St. Baldrick's, but they haven't done that in a while.
That's
so.
it. Yes, exactly right.
Yeah, they haven't done
this
that in a
is
while.
extremely short. I don't know
It shows less gray this way.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
so doesn't mine.
Well, yeah. I'll give you that, Rick.
I was so desperate because I got into the car, or happened to walk by a mirror. I don't know what happens to you when you walk by a mirror, but I get.
We
lured
just walk
in.
by a mirror, Bob.
Pardon?
It doesn't go any further than walking by the mirror. We don't
No,
stop and look. We don't.
Oh yeah. No, I stopped and looked, and I said, "Oh my God!" And I said, "I'm going right now." And usually I go to this lovely woman. Oh God, I can't remember. Up at the Eastfield, not the Westfield. No, Holyoke Mall. I found it eventually. The Holyoke Mall.
Bob, we have plenty of hair. Why don't you go to Basha?
I could have gone. I should have gone to Basha, but I've been going to this woman she's like my cousin. So, and I could have gone to Jack.
Shop
as well,
local.
my old person downtown. Where he's great.
Do I have to remind you to shop local, Bob?
Well, I know, but the thing is, you get it's like women and I don't want to. I'm in Women's History Month. Here I am saying it's just like a woman. But women have their special people who do their hair better than anyone, and I have this. I found a woman who she does all of my friends' hair. She does Kathy O'Brien's hair and Kathy Cassin's hair. And she does my sister's hair and all of this, and she does James' hair and my cousin Gina's hair and I can give you a whole list of people. So you can get scuttlebutt, about everyone who she cuts. So
That's why you go. Okay.
it's
All right.
it's really good.
Now that we've clarified the situation.
And she during COVID she made masks for us. I mean, she's so wonderful. Like I should give her a shout out and where she works. But anyway, so I ended up having to go. I drove down to. There's a new barber shop called the Barber Collection on right next to the Big Y, down on East Main Street. Have you been there at all?
No, but there used to be the
It's
great cuts or whatever it was down there.
No, Great Cuts is on. Great Cuts is down near. That's where I ended up going. But I went to the Barber Collection.
Oh,
They told me it was going to be an hour and a half. But they also said, um, like
the,
women's hair, which I don't understand. This is really sexist. What I'm about to say is that women's haircuts are so much more expensive than men's haircuts.
they are, yeah.
What do you average? What's the average that you charge, or that
I think
you
I paid
charge the
the
barber?
last time was 21. And I went to Great Cuts because I usually cut it myself because if I buzz it, I can do it myself. But my sideburns were getting unruly, so I wanted somebody professionally to level off the sideburns. But it was $21.
Yes, mine was 19 at Great Cuts with, and then with
You had
the
a senior discount.
yeah. Oh, that's it. Well, guess what? Over at the Barber Collection, I walked in and the very nice gentleman, and it's really kind of cool in there. There was only one chair. I think they just started, maybe two chairs in this huge place. They happened to say that it was not senior day. I didn't even I didn't even ask. I mean, like, if I just walked in and he said it's not senior day, and I'm sorry, sir, to tell you that the price of the haircut is $35, and on senior day it's $25. And I said,
Bye.
yeah, and I gradually I said, oh, thank you, I'll be back on senior day. But senior day is 5 days a week, incidentally, everybody. It's Monday through Friday, but on weekends it's 35. Everybody has to pay the $35 cut. So cheapo Bob said, well,
Chivo Bob.
first he recognized that I was a senior, which I should be applauding and not going, you know.
You didn't take
But
offense to it?
second, huh?
You didn't take offense to it?
No, you got, and if no, you never make a barber or somebody who's or a hairstylist comment. You never do it. You never do it because they have the scissors, and what happens? You might end up with a buzz cut when you want your hair styled with whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
In other words, it's like it's like never taunt a man with a gun in their hand. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, that's not a bright idea.
It's not a bright idea. Like when I was mugged on 9th Avenue. When I was mugged on 9th Avenue, I was wearing a tuxedo, and I was just back from a catering gig at it was like 1 o'clock in the morning, and I had done a catering gig at Lincoln Center. Okay, we used to do these Metropolitan Opera things with all the people, and you look just like them, because if it's a shindig, they're wearing tuxes and you're wearing tux, but your tux is the one that's been stained with all the food that you've been passing out as hors d'oeuvres, you see. Okay, so I'm walking down 9th Avenue to 59th. I got under a one of those what do they call those grids that they put in front of buildings to scaffold.
Scaffolding.
I walked into a scaffold, okay, and never do that. It was like the lion walking into a cage, okay. And I was in this cage. I walked and I got hit from behind. I said, oh my God. And in my mind, I thought, I'm being attacked by a gang. And I threw myself down. And I didn't throw myself down. I was thrown down. What am I saying?
You were
Thrown
assisted
down
to
on
the ground.
Yeah, and in my mind, I thought it was a gang. I got up. I looked around, and it was this one guy who looked just like a soap opera star. Unbelievable. He said, "Give me your money." I said, "I'm a poor man." Give me your
I'm
money.
a poor man.
In a
I'm
tux.
a poor man. And I was wearing a tuxedo. I mean, like it was kind of like ludicrous that I was saying I'm a poor man. It just happens to be on the street, homeless with my tuxedo. You know, like I dressed up for the occasion or something. So at any rate, the guy said to me, "Give me all of your money." I said, "I'm sorry, I'm a poor man." And there was this challenge, and he walked away. He walked away, and so I said, "You know what I said to him? Just think of what I might have said, Rick Barry."
I don't know what you would have said to him.
Bob said, "I forgive you."
Oh, that's very nice, Peter. It wasn't Lent.
It
It
wasn't
wasn't Lent, so I wasn't going to be kind.
I don't know what
Rick?
did you say to him?
Don't drop any F-bombs, Bob. We don't have a delay.
That's what I said to him. You blank and blank, blank, blank. And I thought to myself, what am I doing? And then I started running.
Hey, Bob, you're human.
Oh, it was so. I ran to a phone and called the police. The police they wanted me to stay where I was. I said, "You go down to the corner." I think I've told this story on the air before. Now that I think about it,
I don't remember
you go
this
down
one.
to that corner, 59th and 9th Avenue. He's robbing another guy, and you want to come and talk to me about that man who's 2 blocks away? You know. Oh, at any rate, that's my story. I'm sticking to it. What do you think?
We believe you, Bob.
What? At any rate, I've talked right through. I could go and get a coffee, and you could play a song, Peter.
Sure.
What do you got there on my sheet?
We need to wake you up, Bob. That's
I got a sheet right here. Wait.
I gotta go get the sheet. It's in the printer.
Well, I'm gonna go get the sheet. Right
I think
here.
we got the name game. It's
I
the
don't
first
have
song
one.
you had listed up.
Oh my God! You know what today's name is? Yes.
All right, I'll print
It's-
another one for you, Rick, and you can grab both of them.
No,
I've got
the
it
name game with
electronically.
Shirley
I've got it
Ellis.
electronically here somewhere.
Yeah.
I'll print it out. It's coming out.
Here it
now.
is. Here it is.
Okay.
The song
You know
notes.
why I'm playing the name game? Today is Unique Name Day. Unique Name Day.
Unique name day.
Okay.
Who's the friend? You have a friend who has a unique name.
No, I don't.
You want to send them a nice card.
I don't. I don't
do
have
you
anybody.
Have a friend with a Rick?
No, I don't have any. I don't have any friends, so
That's a load of bunk.
Nobody with a unique name, though.
There's not. You know a lot of people. Who
He
is the
does.
most?
Who's with a unique name, though?
Sunshine.
Sunshine.
Didn't somebody have a wife named Sunshine?
Oh, Peter, wasn't Sunshine one of the waitresses at or bartenders? No, she was the bartender at the Maple Leaf at one time, wasn't she?
Really? No, I don't
I
know.
think it was Sunshine. I think that was her name.
Okay.
I don't even know if that was. I don't know if
Sunshine.
that was her real name or that was a nickname that everybody called her.
Uh-huh. Peter, do you have anybody that has a strange name? Must be some Irish name. What's the strangest
I had a
Irish
student that I gave her the award of the coolest name. I can't remember her last name, but in the 10 years I've been in Mount Holyoke, this is the only person I had to reprint her ID card, and her first name is Toot. Toot.
Toot.
Yes, and I was like, "You have the coolest name ever," and she just smiled. She was like, "Oh my God, nobody's ever told me that." I'm like, "I've been here for 10 years, and that is the coolest name I've ever
Her
run
name
across."
was Toot.
Toot.
Toot. Are you sure her name wasn't Tooth and she just didn't have any teeth?
No, because you have to have an official name on your ID card. You can't just make up a name for your ID
Her
card.
name was Toot.
I was like, "That is the coolest name ever," and I was serious. I'm like, "That's not even funny." I said, "That's just the coolest name ever."
Toot.
There was a coach. The nickname was Toot Cahoon or something like. Yeah, Toot Cahoon. He was a coach.
Toot Cahoon. You know what? It sounds like the nickname of one of the men who hang out at Dunkin' Donuts. They call him Toot for a reason, and it's not a good one.
Yeah.
It's
I knew you were
going
going to go there, Bob.
Yeah, Kenny Stomsky we could call Toot when he eats broccoli.
Toot Cahoon. He was the
I
Don
love
Toot
it.
Cahoon. He played for BU, and then
Yeah.
he was a coach at BU, Norwich, University of Lowell, Boston University, Princeton, and then he finished at UMass Amherst.
Wow. And so he was
Maybe
working
the
down at
parents
Mount Holyoke?
maybe the parents named the kid
Oh,
after
this was
that.
somebody else. I thought Toot was working with you. That
No,
he had given up
she's
Princeton
a-
to go to work at Mount
She's a
Holyoke.
student.
Oh, all right. Okay. Got it. Well, let's then, Toot, whoever you are out there,
You're
you
awesome.
win the prize. My
Yeah.
father's name was Demas. That's a pretty interesting French name, Demas, Demase. Does that name? I mean, like it opened itself up for all kinds of things. Like my mother, his nickname was Demi, but sometimes it sounded like Dummy.
So there was
every
a
time-
Cardassian named Damar in Star Trek.
Damar. Listen, this is my favorite. I love it. I had a young woman who worked with me in the AIDS home in New York City, who was on my staff, and she had a daughter. Her daughter's name was Starleisha, Star with Leisha, Leesha. And when she told me, I thought, oh gosh. But the more I said it, Starleisha, it's really pretty. I love this name, Starleisha.
Starleisha.
So
was that her first
here's-
name or is that her full name?
No, that was her first full name, Starleisha, and it was Taniqua was her name. That was an African name, I think. But Starleisha obviously was a combination. They put star in front of Leisha, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, right.
But the baby,
Common spelling.
little Starleisha, was the cutest. Oh my God, I loved her. So look at on unique name day. Here's to Starleisha. Here's to Toot. And here's to what was the other one that we just Sunshine and whoever you know who has a unique name, reach out to them today and send them $5. All right?
It's always about the money.
Here's Banana Fana, Faux Fana, Me My Mo Mana.
Shirley, Bo Burley, Banana Fana, Bo Furley, Fee Fine, Mo Merly. Shirley, Lincoln, Bo Binkin, Banana Fana, Bo Finkin, Fee Fine, Mo Minkin, Lincoln. Come on, everybody. I say now let's play a game. I bet you I could make a rhyme out of anybody's name. The first letter of the name, I treat it like it wasn't there. But a B or an F or an M will appear. And then I say Bo, add a B, then I say the name, then Banana, Fana, and Fo. And then I say the name again with an F, third plane, then a F, Phi, and a Mo. And then I say the name again with an M this time, and there isn't any name that I can't rhyme. Arnold, Bobano, Bonana, Fana, Fofanal, Fee, Fi, Momanal, Arnold. But if the first two letters are ever the same, drop them both, then
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by the Dunkin' Donut Shops of Westfield and the Sardinia family. It's nice to know that even as the world changes, Dunkin' Coffee remains the same at 7 convenient locations throughout Westfield.
This is Ken Stomsky from Ken's Den on WCPC 15 and 89.5 FM, Tuesdays, 8 to 10.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB. Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 and 89.5 FM, WSKB Westfield. He's not back yet.
Wow, it's Tuesday.
Yes.
I got you, Bob.
You are so good. Look, I got the coffee. I got the thing here. I almost fell into the chair. That would have been at first.
That would have been awesome. Bob Plast does slapstick comedy.
What would the headline be?
Bob Plast does slapstick comedy.
Oh, okay.
So, Bob,
we had Joey Behar fell on television walking into her set this past week, apparently, on The View. She was walking in and she fell onto the floor.
You know, they'll do anything for ratings over there. I swear to God. Come on, that was funny, and you know it.
I know. It was funny. Rick, how do you say your name in the Banana Faux Fama?
I have not a clue. I can't say that.
Peter, Po Peter, Finanana, Roneater. I don't know, something like
that. How did I get off centered again?
I don't know.
There we go. There we go.
No, I think
they do Bob in the song.
They do, and it becomes Ob. You drop the first letter if the second letter, if the name is just one syllable or something.
You know, Bob, it's only 6:41 in the morning. That's a little too confusing this early in the.
I think Rick's name becomes Ick. I'm not sure.
Well, they did Nick, so it's probably very similar to that.
Ick, and Ob, and Eat. No, wait a minute. No, you got a certain one. Peter, what is it? Peter.
Faux feeder. Faux feeder.
Oh, do you think I should just do this like every day? Sleep and then just go right to the screen. Poor Rick and you guys have not had an opportunity to talk. Tell me something about yourselves, Rick.
About me?
Well, I'm just making conversation.
No.
Rick kicked off the Brewfest last night.
Yeah, it's exactly. Yeah, we kicked off our first meeting for the Whip City Brewfest, which will be June 4th downtown.
Oh my God, I'm so thrilled. And this is I was talking about you at a meeting. Yeah. Tell everybody about it.
It's to benefit the Amelia Park Children's Museum. Mm-hmm. And we will have over 30 different breweries.
Yeah. With
probably approximately 100 and something different styles of beer or types of beer.
Sure.
Food. Let's see. We've got food from the North Elm Butcher Block, Skyline, and one or two others. And we'll have music all day. Vendors. Is it going
to be right where it was downtown?
Yes, on Central Street. On Central Street. Yep.
It's so good. It's so good. Well, it's interesting that you say that because I met with Rick Ick, who have.
By the way, Kenny says a good name for the name game. Try doing Buck, because you might have to put in.
Yeah, we're not gonna try that.
That's from Kenny from the Peanut Gallery.
Oh my God, I'm glad he's listening, Kenny. I got your check. I got your check right here. If you want to stop off on the house on the way over, here's a check right there for.
Bob just put his account numbers up. Freeze the frame. Freeze the frame.
Oh God. Oh yeah. At any rate, oh God, yes. You're not supposed to show any. I didn't know that you can't show numbers on television.
No, Bob, we just all wrote down your bank processing number and your account number, so we're good. We'll freeze the frame later. Actually, you're so blurry it probably wouldn't make a difference.
Oh my God. Oh, let's hope so. Oh my God.
Bob, the walking security risk.
Oh, so
Brewfest.
Rick is the head of the president of not the president, the executive director of the Amelia Park Children's Museum.
No,
What's his
no,
name?
that's Ray. Ray Radigan is our executive
I know it.
director.
Oh, Ray.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
or as we say in Shirley Ellis Land, we met with A over there. We're going to do an event, a cupcakes, cookies, and community event at the Children's Museum.
I like two out of those three.
Yeah,
I like cupcake and cookies.
You don't like community, and you're putting on a brew fest?
I'm just kidding, Bob.
I know. But at any rate, I was bragging. I was going to mention your name, but we were in the middle of a conversation, and your name came to me, and I didn't want to seem like I was scattered.
Yeah. You didn't want to drop my name.
Here. It's senior day, sir.
You didn't want to.
Children's Museum.
You didn't want to name drop and say, "Hey, you knew me." That's not going to get you anywhere, Bob.
Well, I got a meeting with him next week again. So, yeah, we're going to do an unbirthday event. I think with Alice in Wonderland and the Mad Hatter. Guess who's playing the Mad Hatter?
James.
I would have said Bob.
Oh my God, James would be such a
no. Here, wait. If you'll hold, just talk amongst yourself. I'm going right over there. Let me take 2 seconds.
I don't know if you saw the school committee meeting last night, but speaking of hats, they had the new band uniforms that were ordered.
Yeah.
They sent a sample of that, and they're pretty sharp looking. The new Westfield High School band uniforms that were finally ordered after 20. The old uniforms are like 25 plus years old.
Oh yeah, I could imagine.
Who wore the uniform so everybody could see it?
They kind of lifted it up, and then they had the hat, the hat for them and stuff. And
who put the hat on?
Nobody, I don't think.
They didn't have the courage to put the hat on. Look at this.
Yeah, that's a Mad Hatter hat right there.
That's right.
Look at this. I'm all set. We have all these different hats.
Can you say that you're late?
Well,
see, he was late.
Yeah,
you
that's
were
true.
late. You were late. This morning. You were late.
You were
late for a very important date.
Oh, I should have been I could have been the Mr. Bunny.
Yeah. You didn't get the Alice in Wonderland reference earlier.
Oh God! Well, I just woke up. What do you got?
So my girlfriend, Christy said she slept with the dogs last night out in the living room, and she said there were so many things hitting the house that they kept waking up. They'd get startled by something hitting the house, and they'd start growling. So she didn't get a lot of sleep last night. And then the generator ran out of gas around 3 o'clock in the morning. So she said as she's finishing filling up the generator, the power came back on. She didn't get a lot of sleep last night.
Oh my God! Oh, my sleeping was terrible. Yeah. I got a little extra sleep today though because I overslept. That's the good news. That I got another half hour.
You got another half hour of sleep. Yes.
Yeah, another 45 minutes. Actually, the alarm goes off at 5:15 or so. Peter, what's new in your life?
My son is home from Kosovo.
Oh, tell us about. Oh my gosh, is it?
I don't know if you looked on my if you looked on my Facebook page.
Oh, I haven't been on. No.
His deployment is over. He flew in on Friday. Had dinner with the old ex-in-laws on Friday night at his request, and then we had lunch.
Was your ex-wife there by chance?
Yes, she was.
Oh, how nice!
Yep, she was. We were all playing nice.
So good. That's great.
And then Saturday, my mom and my girlfriend and myself had lunch with him, and we got more stories about what was going on, and we learned that that Serbs and Albanians do not like each other, like a lot.
Oh.
And that he was stationed within sight of one of the few south to north flowing rivers in the world.
Wow. Wait a minute. There's one in America. Is the Mississippi flow north to south?
Yes, it does.
Okay. So this is the other one?
Yeah. It's one of like 2 or 3 in the world.
Oh, interesting.
But he said interesting enough is that Albania is south of Serbia, and they dump a lot of trash into that river to flush it out to the Serbs. They like them that little.
Oh boy. It's terrible.
And he said he was surprised how dirt poor people are.
Oh boy! Well,
He says you have no idea living in this country that the crap that we complain about is absolutely pointless compared to how people live in Europe, which is supposed, Europe very advanced. But he said how many peasant, like people that are dirt poor, and just if you don't cut wood, you die. If you don't catch your dinner, you farm, you die. Right. There are no grocery stores. There is no money. There's no nothing. You live off the land, and that's it. He said it was an eye-opening experience for him.
Wow. Yeah. They were there on a peacekeeping mission, right?
Correct. Yes.
That's
former Yugoslavia. That's still ongoing.
Right.
But he was only a couple hundred miles from Ukraine, so they weren't sure whether they were gonna get redeployed or what was going on, and he rotated out just in time for me.
Yes.
But then talking to John Vilas, they've been given an alert saying, "Hey, if this thing goes to crap, nobody's don't go too far. Don't be out of communication range."
Yeah. Gosh. I came up with this great idea actually. Talk amongst yourselves. I'm going over here for a second.
Bob is so unprepared today. I swear to God.
It's like show and tell. Wait till you see this. Wait a minute.
It's like a train wreck.
It's always a train wreck, Rick. This isn't anything new.
But this is worse. What is this?
It's got to be this thing about Ukraine.
He's got a new wreath.
I got a new wreath. I got a new wreath for. Where are you? Here. I got a new wreath for my door that has sunflowers on it, and I'm gonna buy online. They have see that it has the yellow, the gold, and both. It just happens to have gold and blue, but I want to have a Ukraine flag like right here. And I came up with this idea that I'm going to talk to the girls next door, my next door neighbors, and see if they can do a sunflower thing. Maybe you just buy a sunflower or put a flag on your door, just in support of the Ukrainian folks. I'm telling you, every time I see, there was a picture. This was not a picture I wanted to see on the top on the front page of a newspaper yesterday, but the New York Times had a picture of an entire family that had been shot on the street on their front page. And
hey, Bob, you know how I support Ukraine? By telling my congressman to pass a bill to stop buying Russian oil. That's how because I did the math on that, very simple math.
Mm-hmm.
It's not even that low anymore, but at $110 a barrel, which is what it was a couple days ago for crude oil, the U.S. economy buys, I think it's 550,000 barrels a day. Do you know what that translates out to, Bob? $93 million a day.
Yeah. Well,
and then my girlfriend was like, well, we just gave Ukraine $350 million. I said, okay, that's 3.5 days of oil. So we're funding the Russian war effort. Our economy is because we won't stop buying.
I think that there is a
I might want to buy oil from Venezuela before I buy oil from Putin.
That's right.
At this point.
And apparently
and they're both dictators.
They've gone down there to talk to them about that.
And is that the lesser of two evils? That's and let's not
the
buy
only
it
other
from them.
option.
Let's start drilling.
The only other option, that's an option. Telling OPEC to crank up the taps is another option. I don't think buying from Iran is an option because then we'd be funding the development of a nuclear weapon.
Yeah, it's
geopolitics. Who we had on yesterday?
Who did you have?
We taped a show with John Vilas, and he had Professor George Michael on, who is fabulous. A fascinating. I love George. George is the coolest. He knows his world politics. He knows his geopolitics, and from his time at the War College, he knows the players very, very well. I did a show with him on Iran, and I just got schooled in Iran, and just as much schooled in the geopolitics and the history of Russia, and people say Putin has Parkinson's and he's trying to secure his legacy. That's why he made the move now. But now that this domino has fallen, he said this: you got to worry about Taiwan.
Oh, you've got to also, yeah, absolutely.
Because Xi,
the world is a powder keg. The world is a powder keg.
President Xi he said, honestly, he goes, believe it or not, he goes, Trump may have had the right idea because becoming an ally with Putin is actually better off. Russia and the U.S. are better suited to be allies against China than Russia and China are suited to be allies against the U.S.
Interesting. Hey, I really like this idea about the snowflakes. Look at it, springtime, and there's a big head inside of a wreath. Sunflowers are it's the symbol. If you're wondering why it's
it's the official flower of the Ukraine and one of their biggest products.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're one of the biggest suppliers of sunflower oil.
If you want to join me and put a wreath on your door, you can make them, or you can buy. There are plenty of them online, and they come at just put in sunflower wreath or Ukrainian sunflower wreath or whatever, and it will come up with something. And maybe you want to join me in putting that on the door. I'll put that right over here.
You can also check locally too. There's
oh my God, yes.
Maybe a flower shop locally can do it for you.
Yep.
Oh, that's a great idea. Yeah.
They can make ribbons. They can make ribbons, and they have ribbons, so they can make bows and stuff like that.
The Kellys would welcome the business.
Yes.
You know what? I need the. I'm going to change this bow here. I'm going to go over and talk to Gail Kelly as soon as I can. Yeah, absolutely.
Make sure you take a shower, Bob, and change first.
No, you can go in your pajamas. That's fine.
You don't want to go.
We don't judge over there.
Oh my God!
Until you leave.
Talk about scuttlebutt.
Oh my gosh. It's Women's History Month, everybody, and so I'm going to be playing a lot of different women. And my God, this is an icon.
Wait a minute. You're going to be playing different women?
Oh,
music, Rick, music.
If you wait a minute, I'll slip into a moo-moo.
I heard what I heard. That was just like, okay, but hey,
the
show's
whatever. Still a train wreck.
If you want to dress up in women's underwear, that's fine. We don't.
No, yeah. Listen, I had no. I judge not, and
yes.
I love the idea of people being people. And you know who was who people like to dress up like? If you're if you're going to dress up like a strong woman, is Tina Turner, believe it or not. And our Wisconsin musical director Christian selected a song from the Tina Turner. I thought this was kind of unique that she was singing "It Ain't Right," "Lovin' to Be Lovin'," when she was married to Ike Turner. And of course, there's the Tina musical that's probably touring the country now that talks about love is not what it's supposed to be. And what's the name of that movie about Tina Turner? Rick, you know this. What's the name of the movie with Tina Turner?
What? Oh,
what's love got to do with it?
Is that the name of it?
Yeah.
Okay.
What's love got to do with it? It's great. It's great. But here she is in her heyday in 1970 with her husband at the time, terribly abusive husband, Ike Turner, with the Ikettes. And she's singing "It Ain't Right," "Lovin' to Be Lovin'." This is from the Come Together album, which is kind of ironic given who Ike was to her.
When I know it ain't real. confusion, and I'm trapped in an illusion. It ain't right, love to be loving. Said it ain't right, hugging to be hugging. But I can't help it, how I feel. But all I know is my feeling for you. No, it just ain't real. Pleasing you is to satisfy, but you don't know how I feel inside. Oh, I know it ain't right, love to be loving. I said it ain't right, love to be hugging, but I can't help it how I feel. Well, all I know is my feeling for you. No, it just ain't real. Said it just ain't right, love to be loving. It just ain't right, love to be hugging, but I can't help it how I feel. All I know is my feeling for you.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by Westfield Bank. For more than 160 years, Westfield Bank has been an important community presence and commercial leader in the Pioneer Valley, with convenient full banking services in Westfield, West Springfield, East Longmeadow, Agawam, Feeding Hills, Springfield, Southwick, as well as Enfield and Granby, Connecticut. Visit us on the web at westfieldbank.org.
I'm Mark Auerbach. Join me every Friday at 8 a.m. for ArtsBeat, where you'll meet interesting actors, directors, designers, and musicians here in Western New England.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB. Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 and 89.5 FM WSKB Westfield.
Wow. Wow. It is Tuesday morning, March 8th.
And Peter Coles used my theme song this morning.
Yes,
I
I
can't
did.
believe it.
Yes. I've got to adjust myself again here. Sorry, guys.
I'll play him in
Yeah.
properly.
Critic extraordinaire Mark Auerbach. I was just thinking about you, and and actually, you know, that's the theme from Seesaw. I mean, that's the overture from.
That's the interact from Seesaw. And when I started ArtsBeat here on SKB and Westfield Community Programming, I chose it as my show theme.
Oh, I love that show. I did that show.
That
I
just
played
means Bob doesn't wake up early on Friday mornings to see it.
Yeah. I tune in sometimes.
You watch me 24/7 on YouTube, you know.
It is so 24/7. It would be wonderful. We ought to do that someday. You know, Seesaw has the. This is an interesting thing. It was Two for the Seesaw. Actually, in 1959, Two for the Seesaw was playing on Broadway. So it's. So many years ago with Michelle Lee and Ken Howard in the lead, but no, that was Seesaw. That wasn't two. It was Anne Bancroft and somebody else. There was a straight show that they turned into a musical, and so anyway, they turned it into a musical. I ended up doing it in a production of it and playing the male role in Seesaw. The problem with the male role, Mark, is that everybody loves you in the beginning because you fall in love with this woman who is sort of like, you are a buttoned up lawyer or whatever, and you fall in love with this real, a gutsy woman, Ethel Merman type woman. She's great. Gittel Muska. And you end up leaving her at the end of the show to go back to your wife. So no one likes you. No one, I mean, how do you have a leading character? In the beginning, in the first act, you're thinking this guy is so nice. And in the second act, he's such a heel.
Yeah,
And,
that's true. but she comes out the winner in it because she realized he was a heel, and she said, I guess the last scene I remember that is she
Yeah.
sings this song called "Way Ahead."
Oh, I
But
remember.
I saw it a couple of times, once on Broadway with
Yeah.
Ken Howard, who
Yeah.
had originated the role, and once at the Kennedy Center in Washington when John Gavin played the role opposite Lucy Arnaz, and it was a
Oh,
national tour. And
yeah.
John Gavin was this heartthrob movie star of the
Remember.
time, and the audience didn't care that he was a nasty guy in the play because he turned around as he's packing up to leave in his T-shirt that's just clinging to every muscle, and the matinee ladies were fainting. They were out cold. It was like, oh my God. But the show is really great. I love the show.
I love this show. It's a Cy Coleman musical. It's not where you start, it's where you finish. If you're a Broadway aficionado, get that album. Or I don't know why they don't revive that show. It has a lot of
I don't know,
resonance.
but you can find on YouTube, you can find the big production number from it called "It's Not Where You Start, It's Where
Yeah.
You Finish." Tommy Tune made his big debut or his breakthrough performance in that, and it's out there all over YouTube, and it's just fun to watch.
Oh my
Hey,
God!
hey,
Yes, it's a.
Mark, you can properly tease Bob today because at 10 after 6, I texted him and said, "Hey, Bob, your show's on the air. Where are you?" And he went, "Oh my God!" was the reaction I got from him. Good thing we have this, this technology called Zoom.
Honest
Yeah,
to God.
because I mean, in a couple of weeks, I'll be able to take my tablet out and Zoom from the pool. It's a little chilly out there this morning, Bob. But
Oh my God! Yeah, you would have been blown away over there outside at the pool. I can't wait. Remember the days when you were one of my first for a long while. You were on my show every month or so, and we had these wild conversations, and then you got your own show out of it. It was the spin-off.
Well,
It
yeah,
was
but the thing is that neighbors of mine used to watch it, and they would say, "How can you jump the fence to get into the pool? You're a heavy guy, and how can you jump over that 6-foot fence or
oh
whatever
my
it was?" I
oh
said, "Magic. It all happens by magic, you know."
it's the magic of radio and television together. Hey, do you know what today is? Today is I think it's bring your borrowed books back to the library. Let me get the whole phrase of this down. Return the borrowed books week at the library. So when they return, and our library in town is the Westfield Athenaeum. So when you return your borrowed books this week, you have any borrowed books that you haven't returned, you could go to the Westfield Athenaeum where Mark is involved in producing, if I'm not mistaken.
Nice segue,
Nice,
Bob.
Bob.
Great
That
series.
that was really fabulous, Bob.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I think I owe the Springfield City Library a copy of Valley of the Dolls, which is probably 50 years plus.
Rick,
But I never got around to figuring out how it ended.
Rick,
You better
have
return
read
that soon,
Valley of the
Mark, okay?
Dolls? Yeah.
No, I have not. I saw the movie, though.
Well, Mark's
Well,
copy of his book has notation.
It's his
He's
the
got
original.
underlined.
His is the original copy.
Jacqueline Suzanne loaned me a yellow marker to put marks through the dirty words. I think she only Neely O'Hara, that Patty Duke played in the movie, used the
God.
F-bomb a couple of times, but
Oh, yeah.
there was a lot of dams in it. And so I went through the book. Actually, I took it out from the library, and a friend and I, we went through and we used marker pens to highlight all the dirty words and returned it to the library. Nobody ever knew.
Can he get arrested for that, Rick?
I don't know. The library police might come after you.
Yeah. Shirley Ellis.
Eventually, I think they just charge you for the cost of the book.
Yeah. And sometimes the libraries have an amnesty day. where you can I don't know if they're doing that at the Westfield Afternoon, but today is Return the Borrowed Book. Well, it's the whole week, Return the Borrowed Books Week. So
Maybe
please return.
I'll be at the Athenaeum on Thursday. Maybe I can take back it's just all the libraries are interconnected. Maybe I could just drop my overdue Valley of the Dolls off at the Westfield Athenaeum. I don't
Look
think
at when you do that. Call me. I'll take a picture and we'll do it in the paper. This is worthy of. It's sort of like, you know, man finds his wife's ring after searching for his wedding ring after searching for years and years.
I'm sure whoever's on the waiting list to read Valley of the Dolls, that they keep saying, "Well, you get it as soon as it gets returned." They're dead by now.
Wasn't that an episode of Seinfeld where George tried to return a book from like his high school years? And
oh God, I don't know.
I think it was. Yeah. I think it was an episode, and they were trying to charge him, and then they sent that the library police after him. He was an undercover detective.
Honest to God, I gotta go back and see those. You know what I'm watching now is I don't know if you've seen it, Mark, The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel.
I am watching that. I am watching that religiously because a college classmate of mine, Caroline Abity, stars in that. Her name is Caroline Aaron now, but she plays the mother.
No, and, she is. I know who she is. She's the mother of. She's the mother-in-law with the blonde hair.
With the blonde hair.
God!
So I have been watching it just to see Caroline, and I'm hooked on that show.
It's so much fun. And it is like watching a Neil Simon comedy. There's one-liners, one after another. They really know the art of comedy in that. It's a little far-fetched this season.
Hey, Rick, I know we're being quiet, but this is like listening to a master class in theater, Broadway theater critics and Broadway history and stuff like that. So I just love sitting back and listening to these two just go at it. So.
Yes.
We can both put our muumuus on if you like.
No. We're good with that. We're good.
And they're talking about that. I brought up Seinfeld, so.
Oh my God.
They probably, but see, both of them lived in New York, so they probably know where the Soup Nazi was.
Oh, we do? I know where the Soup Nazi was. He was on.
I don't because I know where the Greek coffee guy was, but I don't know for sure where the Soup Nazi was.
Yeah.
The Soup Nazi was on like 54th Street, and it was between 8th and 9th Avenue. I can picture it right now. It was this tiny, tiny little place.
That to me was uptown. I mean, I lived in West 45th between 8th and 9th.
Oh, you did? I know the exact, right near where Birdland is now. Birdland is.
I'm not sure. The Edison Hotel was nearby, and that was called the Polish Tea Room because it served Eastern European food, and it was cheap. And you could go in there and get a plate of blintzes for $2.
Wow.
And you see a lot of the old time actors there eating.
Oh my God, yes.
We used to go there all the time.
Yeah, the owner of that used to call me his waiter because once I went in there when I was desperate, and I said, "Please hire me as a waiter, please, please, please." And he said, "I don't have any jobs for you right now." And so once I got at work and I would go in to have my coffee or whatever, he would say, "There's my waiter." And I'm thinking, yeah, when I needed a job, you weren't there. You weren't there. But the Edison Hotel had the same, it had rolls of carpeting on the down on the first floor for each of it seemed like for 10 or 15 years there were rolls of carpeting on its first floor, and it's actually where they used to have a lot of conventions from Bay Path. They used to bring the girls from Bay Path on a bus there and do theater and meet. There was a company that did this, and you would meet an actor and they talk to you about life backstage, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, and it was always at the Edison. Yeah. Hey, Marco, we really want to talk about a lot of different things today, but but I wanted to say to you that first, I missed you, and secondly, you have a show, the spinoff from
multiple
Westfield on
multiple
weekends.
shows now, Bob.
Multiple,
Scott
Bob.
has.
I'm doing 3 different shows.
Oh my God, oh my God, and so your original colleague is still only doing the one. Well, occasionally I do another one. So you've got 3 shows. Tell us
You
about
only
the
do
3
partial
shows.
shows, Bob.
Holy
on
mother.
Wednesday mornings, I do a thing called On the Mark, and that is I just interview people, and then a
Uh-huh.
segment of that is called Athenaeum Spotlight, and I co-host that with Guy McLean from the Athenaeum, and I also occasionally do a program with students in communication from either Westfield State or Western New England called What Young People Think. So
I
that's
love it.
kind of like 2 shows in there. And then on
Yes.
Friday, I do Arts Beat every Friday at 8 o'clock. So
And
I'm over there a lot. Our paths just don't cross that much.
well, no, because I have to get up at the awful hour of 5 a.m. in order to be on the show when I awake.
Well, I tape my shows, 3 shows at a stretch. I drive Peter Coles crazy. Peter Coles has to go out and nap after we do 3 hours back to back. But we
Oh
do it
my.
just about once a week. And that way, now with Zoom, I mean, I could be doing radio and TV here from the house, but
We could have
it's
the
much,
you could have
it's
your
much
own
better.
channel. Yeah,
I,
we could.
I could,
Uh,
I could.
yeah, and you could change your name to what Shirley Ellis in the name game. Your name in the name game would be Ark. So isn't it that right? You drop the E because it's one syllable. You drop the M and it becomes Ark. I'm Ark. No, I'm Ob. You're Ark, and Rick is Ick. Ob, Ick, and Ark. And Peter is feeder, or no, what is it? Put banana fana faux feeder, me
Oh, the
my mo
name.
eater.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
before my time, Bob. My babysitters used to sing that to me. I mean, that's way before my time.
Oh God, I love singing that song. But the part in it that I loved was banana fana faux fana me my momena fana. When you'd say the person's name, Mark.
Yes,
Ah,
I know that. Mark, Bobark, Banana, Fanafo, Fark, Me, My, Mo, Mark.
yes,
How's
right,
that?
right. Well, Kenny Snopsky wanted you to do the word. He has a friend named Buck. Would you mind doing that one?
Absolutely not. I don't mind being pulled off the radio by the FCC, but
Oh
not for being that cheap. I mean, if I'm going to
no,
be pulled off the air and
that's
we
I
know
have
that.
no.
I have no way of triggering the delay from down here, so please don't.
Oh, oh my God, holy mother! Have you ever dropped an F-bomb on the air, Mark? Out of all of your spin-off shows?
I did on television once,
Oh
and
no.
it was radio and TV. I was working for Michael Harrison at Super Talk 1270 AM WSPR when
Oh my God, I
WSPR had
memories.
gone from news to talk. And I had been asked to go out and do a series of shows from the Big E. And I hooked up with Kathy Tobin, who was at Channel 40 at the time, was
Yeah.
doing a thing. And we were doing Robinson's Racing Pigs.
Oh my God, I
And one of
remember
the
that.
You remember that? And one of the pigs, because when you did TV in those days, you only were seen from the waist up. So I
Yeah.
could wear shorts and high tops, and I had a shirt and tie on and a jacket, and I'm out there in case Channel 40 was going to pick me up. But I was doing radio at the time, and this pig relieved itself on my foot while I was doing the weather. And I went, oh, F bomb, what is happening here? And immediately they pulled me off the air, and I was just so appalled. I mean, I'll never do a racing pig feature again in my
What
life.
what are they? What is it? A racing? Whatever these racing. Peter,
It was like a small.
hey,
They built like a small oval track, right?
Yeah, they had a little track, and they had these piglets. They were like 5 or 6 weeks old. They weighed a couple of pounds each, and they had some kind of food that they chased around in a circle.
and you bet on
they-
them?
people
Yeah.
bet on them. It was a thing to do at the beginning. So they would always get the reporters to stand in the middle of the circle, and these brand new white high top sneakers. I'll never forget this. I went home that night. I threw them out. It was just like, oh my God. And I was
Bacon
on-
racing, Bob. Bacon racing. They have it at the Big E. They
still
do.
have it at the
Yeah,
Big E?
they still have it at the Big
racing?
E. Yeah, pig racing. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
And they also
I
have
need
a
to-
swimming pig too that they do during the event too. I don't know if you've ever seen that. It actually jumps into a pool and swims.
And is this a piglet that's doing
Yeah.
this, or is this
Oh, yeah.
alive?
It's
Oh.
yeah.
Yeah, I haven't lived. I don't
You,
know
you
why I've never
haven't,
seen this.
Bob. You need to get cultured, Bob.
listening to Hello Dolly in Maine, Bob, but there's another world out there.
Pig racing.
Oink, oink, oink. Oink, oink. Oh God. Hey, why don't we take a little break and then we'll get a little serious? Not serious,
Let's
serious,
see.
but there's a lot happening, and the Athenaeum first. The Athenaeum is.
Well, I'll talk about. I have lots to tell you about. So let's take that break.
Yeah. Why don't we? Oh, I love this. It's still. It's Mardi Gras in my heart. I wanted to play this last week for Mardi Gras. We are in the second week of Lent. You know what? Mark, guess what I'm doing for Lent? Instead of I'm not giving up anything other than I'm adding something. So once a week, I have. Here, I'll show you. I have a $5 bill in line. Here, I've got $5 here. Where is it? Okay. So I got a $5 bill here. Here it is. And I get in line at Dunkin' Donuts, and I say to the guy at Dunkin' Donuts, I want to pay $5 on whatever he's having behind me. And so the man behind me, who's ever behind me in Dunkin' Donuts, once a week gets me paying for their meal, or at least paying for their.
That's $10 you got in your hand, Bob.
Thanks. I was just gonna say that. Wow. It was a $5 tip for the guy behind the counter. So
You know what? This is really. Oh no! Here's the. There's the.
there's the $5.
I have a check for Kenny. I know I've said Kenny Stomsky from KS Solutions, who's on next. You know, he took my cousin Gina had all these tapes and he put them all on CDs for him. So I have a check for him. Kenny, if you want to stop on your way to the studio, I have it for you, or I could drop it off later.
You know, Bob, you get more bang for your buck if you went here and dropped a $5.
Listen to that. They're gonna go ring, ring, ring. So that's my thing at Lent.
Bob doesn't even, that one went right over Bob's head. You know that, right? Mark, do you know what that sound was? That
it was
leads.
what they ring when the pigs come over the finish
No, that leads to this.
Oh my aching back. All right. So what was I going to say? I'm going to play Professor Longhair from Mardi Gras that I wanted to play last week. This was Wisconsin. Again, Big Chief is a great, what do they call that line thing? When the second line at Mardi Gras, they play these great marches. Here's Professor Longhair playing Big Chief.
Underwriting for the community programming of WSKB is provided by the Boys and Girls Club of Greater Westfield, serving the youth of the Whip City and surrounding communities since 1969. For more information on the Great Futures Club for ages 3 to 5, happening weekdays, and the Club Teen Center for ages 11 and older, weekdays from 6:30 till 8 p.m., go online at bcgwestfield.org or visit the club at 28 West Silver Street. The Boys and Girls Club of Greater Westfield. Great futures start here.
This is Ken Stomsky from Ken's Den on WCPC 15 and 89.5 FM, Tuesdays, 8 to 10.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB. Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 and 89.5 FM, WSKB Westfield.
Wow, it is Tuesday. It's March 8th, 2022, and counting. It's the Westfield on Weekend show. Here's my commercial. Go to westfieldonweekends.com for all the events happening in Westfield at the Westfield Creative Arts Center. And the classes are forming. There are classes forming for April right now, and ongoing classes. You can also, they have walk-ins, incidentally, for acrylics, watercolors. There's a yoga class forming, and there's a photography class forming, and you can go on there and you can read all about things like that. And there's a women's circle coming up, and another up close and musical event on March 23rd. And so there's lots to do. There's lots to do at the Westfield Athenaeum, and there's also lots to do in the area, because if you get your Westfield news and you go to the second page, not only does he have 3 spin-off shows from Wow, It's Tuesday. He's got his own column as well.
So there's a chance for me?
Honest to God.
Rick, totally a chance.
Rick, he's all over the place. They're gonna be holding up cups with his name on it from now on and stuff. There'll be T-shirts every. Oh my God, no. Oh,
that's
God.
fabulous. I like that.
Isn't this cool? This is, I've been working since last summer with the musicians of the Springfield Symphony Orchestra, and Monsoon Roastery in Springfield created a coffee for the musicians, and it's called Moso Mojo, and it comes in this cool package. And so I bought them because I love the packaging and stuff.
Oh my God, yeah.
Someday they'll make a coffee blend for me, and it'll be called something like Mark Mojo or something, and it'll be in this like really festive can.
See, hey, Ricardo,
and great coffee. If you've never had it, get a chance to go over there. They're on Albany Street.
Oh,
great coffee.
Gasoline
Yep.
Mark, where do you buy that coffee?
Oh, you can buy it online at monsoonroastery.com. But they created this coffee blend specifically to help support the musicians. So they're like my favorite coffee these days.
I love it. See, I think, Rick, you've got a future. You have a future. I've got a past. You've got a future. As we say in show business.
You've seen my future. I feel like this is like, are you the ghost of Christmas future or something?
Yeah, no, you are the present. You are the present. Mark is also the present because he's all over the place. I am your past. At any rate, Mark. So look, you have your column here. There it is. Okay.
Yeah.
And then below, I think you're quoted in an article over here about symphony musicians will play 3 December concerts in the city. Tell us all about that. Moso, is that how you say it? Moso.
It's Moso, which is a musical term. It means musicians of the Springfield Symphony Orchestra, but it's a musical term for moving forward. So if it's Italian, it means to move ahead. And the musicians formed their own nonprofit last summer when they were in a labor dispute with the Springfield Symphony Orchestra, which is yet to be resolved. And did a concert, a series of small things, and then they did a concert in Symphony Hall last October with their maestro Kevin Rhodes. And now they're moving full tilt. They're doing a 3 concert series of chamber music, which launches on Thursday night at the Athenaeum in Westfield. That particular show is sold out, but the next one on April 14th is a concert. It's at 7 o'clock. It's a concert featuring music for woodwinds, and then they'll have another concert at the Westfield Athenaeum on May 19th that will feature. The program's not totally developed at that point, but it'll be piano and strings. And then on March 26th, they return to Symphony Hall in Springfield, and 2 of the musicians, Tom Bergeron, the trumpet player, and Marty Kluger, the timpani player, are going to be the conductors, and they're going to conduct a variety of short pieces of music. I got the list somewhere here, but they're doing music by Rossaro, Stravinsky, Mozart, Haydn, and Fauré at Symphony Hall, and that's on the 26th. They'll be back in Symphony Hall at the end of June. They're doing a Sondheim Pops with the full orchestra, and we'll announce the details on that as we move ahead. So they're doing their own thing, and the National Labor Relations Board required a settlement between the Springfield Symphony Orchestra and the musicians, and required them to produce 2 shows. So they'll be performing for the symphony in April and May in Symphony Hall, but the Moso group is just moving forward and doing all kinds of stuff. It's great to be able to do chamber music at the Athenaeum. It's a small theater. Downstairs.
Where you do it? Down in the Lang Auditorium?
Yeah. And, it's a great place for music. And Guy McLean and his team have just welcomed the idea that we should have more classical music downtown, and it's been a long time. I can't remember when the Springfield Symphony last performed in Westfield, but it was at Stanley Park.
That's exactly right. I think I was at the last, they asked me to do something at the last, that was when I did Speeches of Victory or Speeches of Liberty or something. And the Kiwanis were producing it, and they needed an opening act for the Springfield Symphony. That was strange. I got to introduce the Springfield Symphony. So I did all these speeches, including the Martin Luther King speech and George Washington's farewell address. This was at 6:30. Of course, people could care less about Bob spouting off all this sort of stuff. And then here is the Springfield Symphony. And it was so funny. Hey, is Kevin Rhodes still with the Springfield Symphony?
Regrettably not. The Springfield Symphony Orchestra, when it did not negotiate with the musicians, did not renew his contract. So Kevin, who has a great career internationally, picked up, and he's performing. I think right now he's in Slovenia conducting, but he was at La Scala earlier this year in Milan, and his career is just booming. And the musician, he came back in October to do this performance with the musicians, and hopefully he'll come back and do some more when he has time.
Yeah. It's interesting that you say that classical music, it's so important for folks, children and adults, to hear classical music. And so I'm thrilled that Guy and Becky Blackburn over at Westfield Athenaeum are doing this. And all of our musicians for Up Close and Musical, we have this series called Up Close and Musical at 105 Elm Street at the Westfield Creative Arts Center. And on March 23rd, it's the students and faculty. And they are, those events are almost sold out or whatever. They're free, but they get filled up very quickly. And there is this need. So I am so glad that that we're providing, between the Athenaeum and Westfield on Weekends, are providing an outlet for classical music, which doesn't get much of a shake. We've been sort of deprived. Do you enjoy? Ick, or as we commonly say, Rick.
Yes, Bob. I'm still here.
Are you a classical music buff?
I'm not a buff. I do enjoy listening to classical music.
Yeah,
I do
yeah.
enjoy it. I find it very soothing, just very kind of relaxing to watch. I've seen the Springfield Symphony a number of times. I've been up to Tanglewood a number of times to see the the BSO or the Pops up at Tanglewood. So
Yeah. And we used to have them here in in Westfield up at Stanley Park, and
Yep.
it would be wonderful. It's very expensive to produce those shows, isn't it, Mark? I mean, like the symphony.
It was very expensive at the time. There was a lot of community support from Westfield to make them happen. I got to hand the Athenaeum credit because the Athenaeum is picking up the tab for these 3 concerts and hopefully getting some sponsorship. But we all realize, I mean, Guy McLean is a classical music lover.
Yes.
I report on the arts from Westfield. We all know that Westfield as a university town and a vibrant community needs a cultural presence because it brings people downtown. And the people that go to these chamber music performances are likely to eat downtown and maybe they'll shop downtown. And it'll bring people from outside of Westfield. And a lot of people just don't know anything about Westfield, people in Springfield. So once they've downtown and they see the variety of restaurants that are there, the fact the Athenaeum is there, or the Westfield Theater Group is doing Big Fish, which is a musical you don't see that often.
Oh, it's a great musical, incidentally. Oh, I like
it. It's beautiful. And all of this is happening in Springfield. It's in Westfield. That's just so cool.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
So cool.
If you go to westath.org, which is Westfield Athenaeum, westath.org, you can see all the things happening at the Westfield Athenaeum. And if you go to
concerts here, and then if you're interested in going to the Springfield Symphony the Moso concerts, I wrote their website down because I can't remember it. It's SpringfieldSymphonyMusicians.com.
SpringfieldSymphonyMusicians.com. And if you go to WestfieldOnWeekends.com, you put all 3 of those websites together, you could have something happening every week, or maybe twice or 3 times a week. And if you wanted to take a course or a class, you could also be learning at the same time. And I love that. Hey, why don't we take a break? I noticed that I'm thinking that chamber group has got another name besides the Springfield, because it's like Agatuck or something. It begins with A.
Arioka, and it's because some of the musicians perform with their own groups, and this particular chamber group that's performing on Thursday night is a chamber group that is led by Beth Welty, who's the chairman of MOSO, and she's a violinist with the Springfield Symphony.
Right, and so what's the name of her group?
Arya, Aryaloka, Arya Loka.
Arya Loka. Are you loca? That's a question. Are you loca? But I'm not going to play Are You Loca, but I went on their website, and this song was on their website because I couldn't find Arioka playing anything to have Peter play. So this is the Galatea Chamber Quartet, and this is what you might hear. It's Bloch, the composer Bloch, Tonga Taboo. It's a really interesting chamber piece, a modern one, and it's short. And if you hear this, you'll want to go to these chamber concerts. Here you go.
Support for community radio on WSKB provided by Westfield Electroplating. Employing over 140 skilled platers, painters, and technicians, Westfield Electroplating was founded in 1946 and was the first company in the country to achieve National Aerospace and Defense Contractor Program accreditation, proudly maintaining that status for over a decade. Westfield Electroplating provides over 50 quality finishes to meet your corrosion, cosmetic, or performance needs. On the web at www.westfieldplating.com or 413-568-3716. Westfield Electroplating, putting the finishing touches on technology.
Underwriting support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by the Greater Westfield Chamber of Commerce, the voice of business for the Greater Westfield communities. Informing, educating, advocating, the Chamber provides opportunities for members to make meaningful connections on local, regional, and state levels. For more information on the Chamber's many events, workshops, and programs, as well as the benefits of membership, visit westfieldbiz.org. The Chamber focuses on the most important economy, yours.
Join me, Tina Gorman, each week from 6 to 8 a.m. for Wake Up Wednesday, when my guests and I discuss health, wellness, and lifestyle reimagined.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB. Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 and 89.5 FM WSKB Westfield.
Wow, it is Tuesday, March 8th, 2022 and counting. My name is Bob Platts. I'm here with the fabulous Pete Coles as producer. We've got Rick Barry, my temporary permanent substitute co-host, soon to be seen in a variety of media, movies, television, and radio, following in the footsteps of Mark Auerbach, critic extraordinaire, is also with us. And hey, I was just reading your column, Mark, in the Westfield News, but I also on the front page, I wanted to, this is a theater town this weekend because the St. Mary's High School Drama Club to stage musical comedy. A Gentleman's Guide to Love and Murder is planned for March 10th through 12th at the high school. Do you know anything about this Gentleman's Guide?
I sure do. That had its world premiere at Hartford Stage and then went to Broadway and won the Tony Award for Best Musical. It is a very funny musical about a guy who is potentially the heir to a family fortune, but there are 8 people in line ahead of him to get that family fortune, so he murders them all off.
Oh.
And one person, I don't know how the high school's going to do it, but on Broadway, one actor played all of the 8 murder victims, male and female. And I never laughed so much during a show. It's very funny. Tony Award for Best Musical.
Oh my gosh! So you can't go to the Chamber concert. You can look for that as well this weekend. And at the end of the month, March, at the end of March is Big Fish, which is a Andrew Lippa musical that you've got to check out. We had a show last week on Big Fish, so I would be remiss in telling you about it. So then I go up to your column, Mark, over here, and it says that you're talking about the Chester Theater, the Berkshire Theater Group, and all that. Is this the time to buy our subscriptions to the Chester Theater, Berkshire Theater, et cetera, for summer?
Well, all the summer theaters have announced their most of them have announced their summer seasons, and I think that like Barrington Stage is doing Ain't Misbehavin' and A Little Night Music, and Berkshire Theater Group is doing Dracula, and Chester's got 4 plays you've never heard of before, and this is the time to get the good seats, because once the New Yorkers plan their long weekends in the Berkshires, most of these shows sell out. So it makes sense to plan your summer out early. And of course, Tanglewood will be back, and Jacob's Pillow will be back. And
are they back in full swing without COVID?
Everybody is back in full swing. Some theaters will require you to mask up. Some will require you to show proof of vaccination. But all of the theater companies at this point, knock wood, are up and running full tilt.
Yeah. And is the Bushnell doing a spring season of Broadway musicals at all down there?
Bushnell, this week at the Bushnell's My Fair Lady on tour,
The
and then at
Bartlett
the
Shear production? The
the
Bartlett
Bartlett
Shear.
Ship section from Lincoln Center. It
Uh-huh.
opens tonight. Actually, I'm going tonight. And it
Oh,
runs through Sunday, and then at the end of the month they have Dear Evan Hansen on tour,
oh
which
my
is a
God.
wonderful Broadway musical. If
Yeah.
you don't watch the movie, because the movie version is horrible, but that's coming, and then Mean Girls is coming, and in the summertime, Hamilton is coming back to the Bushnell.
Oh God. Look at what a place we live in, huh? And we don't
Yeah,
even
and
have to go to New York.
Yeah, and Theater Works in Hartford is doing great stuff, and Hartford Stage. Hartford Stage is doing Neil Simon's Lost in Yonkers next month, directed by and starring Marcia Mason.
Oh my God. Marsha Mason. Wasn't she married to Neil Simon?
She was one of his wives. He wrote Chapter 2 and The Goodbye Girl for her, and several other plays. But she's
Yeah.
directing and starring in Lost in Yonkers, and then
Which is
the
an
jazz.
interest. Yeah, Lost in Yonkers is atypical Neil Simon. It's funny, but it also has some other.
It's a very
It's
serious play. It's a very serious play.
yes,
Um,
yeah,
and then they're ending their season with a new musical by John Leguizamo. It's called Kiss My Aztec, and it's the story. It's Latin history, Latinx history from the past to the present in a new musical. So there's a lot going on, and we're
yeah,
very lucky to live in an area like this. Plus, we're only 3 hours from New York City and 2 hours from Boston, and like in
yeah,
Boston, for example, there's the pre-Broadway musical about Neil Diamond. Is opening in June, and Will Swenson is starring as Neil Diamond, and that
yeah.
tries out at the Colonial on its way to Broadway.
What was
And
his tragedy? He's got Parkinson's now. I'm
I don't
so
know. I
sorry.
don't know. He's still around and all that, but what a treasure trove of music he put out there.
Yeah, yeah. Well, both you and I come from we have a theater background. We have a theater. Both of us have been on stage.
Theater people, yeah.
Rick, have you been on stage ever, except for that stage that used to go out west?
I'm not that old, Bob.
No.
Not that old. Yeah, actually, in high school, I was more on the production side instead of the acting. I did a couple of things. I played. Let's see, we did. We did Harvey, and I played the taxi driver in Harvey. The rough and gruff taxi driver in Harvey.
In Harvey.
Yes, I believe that was
the,
Harvey.
You could have played the rabbit in Harvey.
I could have, yes. I tend to stay to the backstage. I have a face for radio, so that's what I always say.
Oh
So,
no!
But you know,
Mark, explain the Harvey reference in the rabbit, so
Yes.
people get that joke.
I think most people understand about the 6-foot invisible rabbit.
Is he
Yeah, I
6
have
feet?
one. Doesn't everybody have one?
Yes, doesn't
I have
everybody?
one.
We all have that.
I remember that
Come
one
right
too.
over here. Wait a minute, I'm going to bring him over.
Yeah.
Right here.
Well, you guys, you were talking about the symphony here in Westfield, and that would be a great thing to bring back up to Stanley Park, because I remember those things. And I was trying to think. I know I saw Chet Atkins play with the Springfield Symphony Orchestra. I believe it was Peter, Paul, and Mary. And was it Louis Armstrong? Was it Louis Armstrong played also to a? I believe it was Louis Armstrong played to a packed Stanley Park. Louis imagine
Armstrong with the symphony. At Stanley Park?
I believe that's who it was.
I don't remember. It's funny because my
Weren't
first
you
job brought
you
me
were
to
the
Springfield. I was doing the PR for the symphony, and
Yeah.
that is 40 years ago. So I don't remember a lot of the acts that came, except for one, where they showcased singers who had grown up in the area, and one was the cabaret singer Jane Schechter, who
Oh,
grew up in Longmeadow and Springfield. Her mother was a fourth grade teacher at Blueberry Hill School in Longmeadow. And Jane had had this international career doing cabaret in New York and Paris. And
yeah.
she came to Stanley Park and she had just cut an album called I've Got My Standards. And it was, things like Cole Porter and Harold Arlen and, Rodgers and Hart. And she sold the place out. There were 5,000 people at Stanley Park. And her mother passed away a few years ago, and I ran into her, so to speak, on Facebook. And we kind of got
Oh,
reacquainted to find out that she moved back to Longmeadow. She lives 2 blocks away from me.
oh
And
my gosh.
we had a
Does she
reunion last
perform any
summer.
longer? She was part of our
She
cabaret
performed,
series a few years
yeah,
back.
she performs occasionally at the Club 350 when they have music nights. But she's done some stuff in New York, but she's not performing the way she did
Of
30
course.
years ago.
And she's a neighbor of yours.
Yeah, and she still has the
Nice.
voice. I mean, she has an
Yeah,
incredible voice. But I
yeah.
remember that from Stanley Park, and I remember things like The Fifth Dimension.
Yep, the Fifth
Hmm.
And
Dimension was one of them. Yeah, we're talking what
yeah,
20, 25 years ago, maybe even longer.
we are
Uh-huh.
because that series ended, I believe, 20 years ago
Yeah,
Yeah,
when
it's got to be about 20 years ago because that was I was in that last,
yeah.
I the
W-
last time.
One of the most memorable one was definitely Chet Atkins. If you ever had gotten a chance to see him, probably one of the best guitarists that has ever played the guitar. And I was about 10 feet from him watching his
Oh,
guitar with the symphony in the background playing was just unbelievable.
I
It's not everybody's genre of music, but just listening to a guitar great like him
oh man,
just playing
yeah,
was amazing.
yeah. You've got to watch. I've got one more episode of Rick Burns' Country. It's called Country, and it's about the history of country music in America. It is, Mark. You would love it. You would love it. Love it. Love it. Love it.
well, I know
Speaking.
that Michael Feinstein and Liza Minnelli are producing an album of country music. Um, I don't know what they're singing, but
Really?
the idea of the two of them singing any kind of country tune, I I
Oh
I
man.
because
Yeah.
I lived and worked in Houston for a couple of years,
Yeah.
and I got addicted to that kind of music. I just could go listen to it all day long.
Oh gosh,
Bob, does that
it's
mean you're
really
going to go to the Grand Old Opry now?
sure.
I think you'd enjoy it actually. The performance the performance in the stage show is a lot of fun, and the fact that you know that it's a live radio show to boot is kind of like the fun kicker.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I've sorely miss on Prairie Home Companion and live from here on Saturday nights. Unfortunately, they don't have it on NPR any longer. Garrison Keeler was sent up the river, wherever he went, whatever. And then Chris Theo. Actually, the Punch Brothers are I think this week in Northampton.
Either in Northampton or I think they're at Jorgensen, Yukon.
Yes,
Yeah,
check it out. Go, because Chris Steele, if you listen to Live from Here, will be playing with them or whatever. Hey, but we've only got a very short time. It's from what I see. But Mark, I wanted the Academy Awards are coming up soon. Have you seen West Side Story, the film?
I did see West Side Story and I liked it. I think that Ariana DeBose, who plays Anita, ought to win an Oscar for that. She was really terrific.
Yes, I thought it was a really well done remake. You could watch both of them and both. I mean, the early one and the late one, and enjoy both of them for what they are. Don't you think?
Yeah, but
I
they're both good. They're both good versions. I can't really decide which of the two I like better.
yeah,
And I hate to compare them because they take but it's very difficult to take a Broadway musical and recreate it in film and do justice to it. Um, I mean, for example, Dear Evan Hansen, a big Broadway hit,
yeah,
flopped as a movie.
yeah.
It meant to be done on stage. Then Cabaret, which is opening Goodspeed season,
Ah,
and was done recently by K&E Theater. Cabaret, as a film, completely different from the stage musical, but it works so well. I
oh
could go
man.
back and watch Cabaret anytime. And
Oh
I feel
yeah,
with
yeah.
West Side Story, certainly either version is
Either
worth
version.
watching.
What did you think of Tick Tick Boom? Because Andrew Garfield is also up. You can see both of them, incidentally, streaming online right now. Tick
I
Tick Boom.
liked it. I didn't know anything about it. I never
No.
saw it as a show, but I loved it as a film.
Oh, I loved it as a film. Lin-Manuel Miranda, the director, deserves really kudos, kudos, kudos. Hey,
This will be your
you've got to
going out
come
song,
back up.
Bob, because it's 7:58.
Yes, and I got to get off, but
No,
I
you don't.
wanted to.
We have therapy with. You have to do therapy.
Oh, I have to. Oh my God.
Yes, you have an appointment, Bob. Dita.
Mark, if you want to stick around for therapy, you watch Kenny Get Therapized by Bob.
I don't think I could handle that.
It's so good. It's its own spin-off. You see, in order for me to have another show, I have to just sort of stay on the air. I refuse to go when they teach us to say, okay, you can be on with Kenny. You know.
Unfortunately, I have to go because I have a meeting, but any Tuesday morning you want me to come back and schmooze, Bob and Rick, I am glad to show up.
Yes, thank you for coming on, Mark.
Yes,
it's always great
really,
talking to you.
Honestly, it's so much fun. Ricardo, I will see you in show business. Peter, I'm going to be up next week. Mark Auerbach, we love you. And check out Mark on his shows on Wednesday. Mark on the Mark is Wednesday. And
On the Mark or Athenaeum Spotlights are Wednesdays either at 8 or 9. And
Right.
Arts is Friday at 8. And if you miss them or you want to watch them again, you can find them on YouTube at WSKB Community Radio's YouTube page.
And you can read Mark in the newspaper at Westfield News. And if you want,
or Mass Live, it's all it's on Mass Live too.
Oh yeah, I forgot you're there as well.
He's everywhere.
He's a media mogul.
He's everywhere.
He's everywhere. He's the everywhere man.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Hey, I wanted to play. I wanted to play this. It's the Ghosts of Kiev. It's called.
Kiev.
It's a song for Ukraine. I found this online. It's really beautiful. It mentions sunflowers, and it's a short piece for our friends in the Ukraine, for everyone who has family in the Ukraine. We're praying for you, and we're praying for the Ukraine. And Mark Auerbach, thanks for showing up. Here's the Ghost of Kiev, and you can get this on YouTube. Guys, I'll see you soon.
Stay strong.
All alone, another shell will land, shaking broken homes. And if you enter on Moscow's order, dusting golden domes with pale moth powder, then fill your pockets with seeds. Fill your pockets with seeds, and may the ghosts of Kiev sleep peacefully in the fields of sunflowers. You will leave in the fields of sunflowers. You will leave in the cellars and streets under chestnut trees. They may dream of peace, but they will fight to stay free. And if you enter here, head to tyrant's will. The only words I can think quote the Snake Island 13. And fill your pockets with seeds. Fill your pockets with seeds. May the ghosts of Kiev sleep peacefully in the fields of sunflowers. You will leave in the fields of sunflowers. You will leave.